Hello everyone. Let us look into this problem called t primes. Okay, and what this problem requires us to solve is given a number. Okay, given a number, we have to figure out if that number is a t prime or not. Okay, so a number is t prime when it is the square of a prime number. Okay, a number is t prime when it is the square of a prime number. So this is I mean we would ideally need some mathematical operations to prove this, but that is not the true function of the video. So what we are looking at is how we can deploy memorization to solve this problem. That is the important concept that we need to look into this for this video. Okay, so a number is a tree prime only if it is a square of a prime number. For example, 4 would be a t prime. In this case, 4 would be a t prime, but 6 would not be, because 6 is not a perfect square. And even if it were to be a perfect square, this is definitely not square of a prime. Okay, so similarly, let's say 3. Okay, so 9 would be, since because 3 is a prime number, 9 would be a t prime. Okay, so how do we go about solving this problem? So let's say we have been given three numbers, 4, 5, 6 as input. Okay, so what we can do is as a part of our solution, we can check if the number n is perfect square. Okay, and the square root of n is prime. So if this condition is true, then our our number is a t prime. So we have to output a yes in this case. Okay, so this is what we need to do. Now it is important to note that if we need to check if n is prime or not. Okay, now a single test case can have multiple inputs. Okay, a single test case can have multiple inputs, and we have seen that the range of n can be from 1 to 10 raised to the power 5. So why is this information important to us? So this is important to us because what we can do for this question is that we can calculate all the primes up to the limit of 10 raised to the power 5. Okay, even before we start reading the input. So what this would do is this would make our calculation for tree prime near to an oven scenario. Okay, wherein we do not have to calculate if the square root of n, which is this guy, is a prime or not. Okay, so we can do it for once, and then we can all solve all the test cases in just one attempt. Okay, so how do we do that? Okay, so what we can do is we can take a variable which says prime is prime. Okay, and this is an array of 10 raised to the power 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is an array of 10 raised to the power 5. Cool. So now what we can do is we can make a function. Okay, calculate prime, which is void calculate prime. Okay, and that's it. So inside this function, it's just the just the function that continuously calculate if a number is prime or not. Okay, so the way to do this is, what we can do is we can make is prime of 0 equals to is prime of 1 equals to 1. So 1 signifies it is not a prime number. Okay, and 0 signifies that it is a prime number. So what we need to do is, for int I equals to 2, I smaller than 10 raised to the power 5, I plus plus. Okay, if is prime of I equals to 0. Okay, which means if the current number is prime, then for j equals to I cross I, j smaller than 10 raised to the power 5 j plus equals to I. Okay, all that we need to do is prime of j equals to 1. So we simply populate if that particular value is prime or not here. Okay, so now this is the function that we call in our main function. Okay, before even we read input. So what it does is, in this table, in this array prime is prime table, it pre-populates all the value whether a particular given number is prime or not, and then we can use this particular array to solve all the problems. And how we solve all the problems? So let's say we have a function called int main. Okay, so all that we need to do is, if there is a number n, okay, that we have read. Okay, so c in n, then all that we need to do is, if is perfect square. Okay, so this is a very simple function. If is perfect square, all that you have to check is if sqrt of n equals to int sqrt of n. And so what we can do is, we can take a variable double sqrt equals to sqrt of n. Okay, and then what we need to check is if sqrt equals to int sqrt of n. Okay, so if this is the case, return yes. Okay, or return no. So this is the function here. So if it is perfect square, and now very simple stuff, very simple stuff, which is and then is prime. Okay, is prime sqrt of n equals to 0, then cout yes. Okay, so this is the entire concept. So this question is mathematically very simple question once we know what a t prime is. But the most important concept here to learn is that we can pre-calculate the values. Okay, so what we did here was, and in fact in main, right? So what we need to do is, we need to call this function called calculate prime. Okay, even before we read input, we have to calculate the prime. So what we are doing is, we are pre-calculating, okay, and storing storing values, okay, that we can use redundantly in multiple test cases. Okay, so this may not qualify as, let's say, a standard dynamic programming problem, wherein we had those variables, but pre-calculating a particular value, pre-calculating a set of values, and then storing and using that value in O1 operation is actually a form of memoization, and it is a very important and interesting trick to get our runtime, the runtime within the limits of whatever has been given in the question. So that is it about this video. I hope that you have understood this important concept of pre-calculating and storing values to be able to solve problems within those time limits. Okay, let me know your feedback in the comments. Keep liking and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.